Hi everyone. My name's Laura Edbrook and I'm here to introduce a cohort of writers from the Master's Programme in Art Writing at the Glasgow School of Art. So the contributions to the parade today will occur throughout the day and will include Maria Howard, Adrien Howard, Sarah O'Brien, Jessica Higgins, Shuan Nagokati, Megan Rudden, Misa Brzecki, Timothy Armour, read by myself, Camille Cornu and Alice Wordkin, Lorna Wu and Jen Martin. I wanted to just take a couple of moments to talk around the significance of this event occurring in the middle of the University and College Union dispute. And this involves some 43,000 members, and it seems obviously it's a significance that cannot be ignored. Today is Saturday, meaning that it's a non-strike day, and this follows 5 days of action and a further 3 days next week. The media and colleagues across UK institutions share their experiences on social media of management's attempt to pit students' interests against staff, to punish workers by denying access to permanence or promotion, and to wrench at the sense of duty we might feel towards our students. This week has been a significant week for cancellation. It's pre-assessment, and this decision has not been made unintentionally by the UCU. And of course, my decision to cancel all teaching for the art writing programme wasn't made lightly. The care and the sense of duty to my students is rightly placed, but not always clear, to see how to best be demonstrated. And so I asked myself, how is my complicitness in the marketisation of higher education institutions an act of care? So the physical and emotional landscape of the university has fundamentally changed, most notably accelerated since the 2010 election. Contemporary working conditions are impossible to live under, and these are things that we discuss in seminars. We think about our reading often concerns how to live otherwise, or the imaginings of working outside of conservatism, exploitation, or of neoliberalism. We think about communities of practice, we think about communities of thought and of support. And we think about reparative modes of reading and writing, all with the intention of asking, what can writing do? How can it mobilize change and return us to an intersectional ethics? The art writing program is only in its second year, and it continues to be a conversational nest of optimism, at least for me, and I think it is for everybody involved in the program. And this, I should say, is an increasing rarity within the institution. And so obviously it's quite meaningful for me to introduce a cohort of academic peers, writers, and I'm thrilled to introduce them all to you today amidst a turmoil of necessary industrial action, with the further insistence that a better life is possible for all of us.
We sit in the sun and discuss the impossibility of the commons and the inability to imagine. The commons is utopia, the commons is no place. Long live the commons do not exist. We sit in the sun and arrive at the conclusion that all that remains is affect and conversation. This land is not common, this land is public. This land is not your land. You go for a walk, you can pitch your tent on it, but not for too long. In summer you will need a permit. Absolutely no fires. There are false commons and there are latent commons, the ones that some people find hard to envisage. How comfortable are you designating things as commons, she says. This is a remembered conversation, and I say I think I'm fine with it. The commons are on fire. We will set a fire on the commons to claim it back. Maybe the commons are the spaces we build between people, not places. They live as collective memory, told and retold as testimony and anecdote. It matters that we remember, it matters that we resist. Once erased from memory, once they fall into disuse in the imagination, once we stop imagining possibilities for commons, they are no more. You're looking out over rooftops and realize that nothing can be done, and everything can be done. The commons are so vulnerable, she says. and it overcomes you like a tender ache in the chest. That same afternoon, you hold a commons in your hand, a pamphlet. It's called The People's House, and you help to build it. That night, there is the temporary commons of a protest, remembering that other day out on the streets where a queue of cars stretched down the M8 waiting for you all to pass. The police were trying to close the gaps in the crowd, but you walked slow and let them widen. Another conversation, this time in a white kitchen at night. We talk of shared spaces, of grazing animals we do not have and probably never will. We talk of the Cunningar Loop, of China clay and feldspar and matte white. We sit and eat leeks and lentils, weighing up new possibilities for sharing. We remember our respective awakenings and wonder at how mountains could go unnoticed for so long. As we walk back across the park, small groups of people in the black are letting off fireworks, and the high street just beyond is wreathed in smoke that could be fog were it not for the date. We talk of the social life of the city and the need to recreate it in the land. This is not about isolation and wilderness. This is about commoning. Thank you.
A one, two, two. There's an event happening in a few weeks' time, and someone's asked you to do a thing. That thing that you do, that thing that they saw you do once before that was perhaps quite good and seems to fit with what they have in mind. You've said yes and you're nervous about it, and beyond that sicky feeling in your belly when you think about it, and a growing sense of worry, you perhaps haven't given it much more thought than the sicky feeling in your belly and a growing sense of worry. The pressure to perform. It's for the big event at the end of the month, which is now only 3 days away. You've asked about who else is on the bill and who might be coming. What if nobody comes? Perhaps that'll be quite good, but it's a big event in a big venue with a big audience, and you're going to do that thing that they've asked you to do. To perform. To project. The best way to cover up at a big event is to make it a big event, so you hire a bigger band. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the ensemble are sick, and the others are just bad musicians, and the event is only 3 days away, but the show must go on, and you must confess that you're a little nervous. Sick, in fact. So nervous, you might be sick. Let's take a break. You've written several pages, but not one of them will do on the occasion of the event, which has been advertised, and many expected to attend, and maybe nobody will go after all. But you've hired this band to perform. You never liked being on stage much, and what you did like after the first time was that moment of release, and you remember talking about that moment of release being the greatest thing, and how you felt euphoric, and how afterwards you just wanted to. But they're never going to respect you if you can't bring this to a climax, and that's what they're here for, the climax. And they just want to see all of you. You have to make your whole self vulnerable, but it doesn't have to be the real you. It could be anyone else, but as long as it's all of it. And don't forget that this is a gift from you to them. They're bound to love it. A spectacle. And you know the space, it's a big theatre in the town. It's a national event and you're not actually from here and you feel a bit weird about it, but you've said yes now and it's going to be televised. So it's in the big theatre at the centre of the town, which is a good kind of thing, for the kinds of things that get televised, where the seats are red and rimmed with gold, the aisles are carpeted, the stage is big, but everyone gets a good view, because there are no bad seats, especially when it's on the telly. You're trying to remember all of your training. You had a certain kind of education, something about the fourth wall, and one of them's definitely a curtain which appears to be open. If in doubt, you just got to throw more money at it. Or the towel in. One of the two. Just pick one. A 1, 2. And you know that there is this moment in the performance where everything is supposed to be moving towards the same point, the point towards which everything is moving. And it's all quite fast now and it's out of your hands.